Bayonne famous? I don't know. All right. Good morning, everyone. Welcome. It is 7 a.m. It is Thursday. No, it is Wednesday, May 19th, 2021. And beautiful day yesterday, I think. We had a gorgeous, gorgeous couple of days. I think today looks like it's going to be a gorgeous day. I haven't really looked at the weather yet, but it seems pretty cool. I have a doctor's appointment today, an eye doctor appointment, because I haven't haven't done that in a long time. Then I'm going to New York City. Then I have a couple of appointments back home, phone calls and stuff. So I got a little bit of a busy day today. Not too bad though. It's pretty good, pretty fun. I like going to New York. Every once in a while, you have to wear a mask every single place you go, outside, inside, anywhere. So it's a little sad, because so many nice things about New York that you want to experience with people with their full faces. Unfortunately, it's not like that yet, but I think they're loosening up. I think they're real. Some people are getting a little frustrated. I think New Yorkers are tough. I think it's going to be an interesting couple of months. But anyway, here we are, and I thought about this conversation a few weeks ago. I wrote it down because I was thinking of, well, how am I going to work this conversation of Bayonne, Bayonne famous. And by Bayonne famous, I really mean, I do a lot of social media. I have the I Love Bayonne page, which, hello everyone, if you're on there, thank you very much for watching. It's a wonderful page with about 1,600 active members. And we have 2,500 overall members. It's a really good ratio of people who are actually active, who use the page, who visit the page. And I started that page with Frank Maglio. Actually, we decided to start that page for our just to kind of get to know the community, to give some information to the community. We were real estate agents in the community as well as I'm a filmmaker and musician, and just really to connect with people. And it really just was such a huge benefit to our goals. To really meeting people and to also sharing good content that was going to help the community. And I thought that that was something that I applied that really worked. And this video is really not about being Bayonne famous. It's really about um, generating interest and connections in your own community. I think everyone can be. Hey, Suzanne, how are you? Yes, go Bayonne. That's right. I think everyone can have that, opportunity of expanding their business locally if they create a page, kind of like the I Love Bayonne page. It's a group actually, so it's a private group that people have to join. So we're not forcing people to be, hey, join my page, join my page, join my page, and they have to want to be there. They have to join. They have to answer a few questions, simple questions like, what do you like about Bayonne and da 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 whatever. um, and on that page where everyone that joined that page wanted to be there. So if you create a page like that and you ask people, listen, I have a page, it's a private page, you can join it. I'm going to give content based on this, whatever your business or whatever your thing is. um, the people that you do get, and it could take you some time, you know what I mean, it can take you some time if you're not if you're not on social media a long time. This has been right now for over 3 years for us, for the Alabama page, and we're at 2,500. But some of these pages, you can go to, you know 10, 20, 30, 50,000 people, but Bayonne has only about 65,000 people last census. So it's not exactly huge, a town. And we have 2,500 of those interested people that wanted to be part of this page and that we actually interact with a lot. A lot of businesses post their content on there as well. A lot of the restaurants, their specials, um, yoga instructors, musicians, bands, performances, where they're playing, what they're working on. And I encourage everyone that's on that page to even write stories about their experience in Bayonne, and especially the long time. I've been here 9 years now, but there are people here who've been there their whole lives, so they know all about all of the history of Bayonne, right? So like Ben Costanza, who's a friend of mine. He's my real estate broker and a very good friend. He knows everything about Bayonne, and he is Bayonne famous, right? He certainly has a connection with this town. Everyone knows the Costanza family. His wife's a teacher. The kids are very involved in the community as well. So he's got a whole. His name is very, very well known in town. And he did that through longevity. Now, with social media and with the internet and all these things, and being used properly, being used wisely, and also studying a lot of people that are successful doing, and you know you can actually increase those numbers fairly quickly. You can get there much faster than we did, if you're really on top of it, and really interested in expanding your brand locally. And what does that do? Well, Pete Seeger, if you don't know who Pete Seeger is, he's a singer. He sang with the Weavers, very old singer from a long time ago. He passed away a few years ago. He was like 90 something when he passed. And he was a very controversial figure in the 50s, in the 40s, 50s, and 60s, especially through the 60s and the 70s. And he said, I heard him say, I don't know if his original quote, but he said, act, think globally and act locally. See, so you think with taking over the world, but you want to act locally, right? Because you're here locally, and you may not have the resources, right, to put an ad in every single newspaper on earth, right? So you have to act locally. So make yourself a source in your own community. So you start with your neighborhood. You start right around the community here. I sent out a letter a few years ago. I was a committee member of this area here before I changed parties. Actually, that's a whole other story, right? That's a whole other episode that I'll talk about. But I was a committee member, and I loved my community. That's why I did it. I loved I loved the I just my kids are here, my wife is here, I'm here, my good friends are here. So why not try to invest some time and some positive energy into the community, right? So that's why I became the committee member, and I was on the ballot and I won, and it was cool. So I sent out a letter to every single house that was in my neighborhood. And I just sent them a letter with a picture of myself, like, saying that, and even my information. If you need anything, as a committee member, I'm sort of responsible for, if something is broken or something needs immediate attention, I can contact City Hall, and they'll listen a little bit more to me than the somebody else, because they know who I am. And so it's kind of sort of a liaison to getting things done in the community, which I thought was nice. Um, I don't want to do politics. I never did, but anyway, it's another story. And one of the things that I learned, um, that I really learned during that whole uh, time, was that when you send out letters, when you communicate via social media and you do it consistently, people may not respond to you. They might not even like your posts. They might not make any comments. They won't share it. But they will see it. And what I realized is that a lot of people watch my content who don't like my posts, hit a little like thing, don't share it obviously, and they don't comment on it either. They don't do any of it, but they're out there and they're listening and they're watching. And I realized that as time went on, because I would be down out in the street, my kids my kids think that I'm like literally famous. I tell them, it's just Bayonne and it's just around these communities. But when we walk down the streets, there'll be people that'll be like, "Hey, how you doing?" "Hey, how you cars, burp, burp, ah." They just recognize me. I'm a distinctive looking person. I'm short. I got these weird hair thing going. I don't wear the hat outside, but people just tend to recognize me, the glasses, and walking around with my kids all the time. So people do recognize me from doing this and doing. I do 20 plus live shows per month, um, and a lot of content, a lot of social media, and then a lot of it is within Bayonne, especially before, in the past, before the pandemic. Obviously, I was out there visiting restaurants and taking photos of restaurants and businesses, and sharing the business and interviewing businesses, and just trying to do as much as I can to try to help businesses kind of get their word out by using the Isle of Bayonne page and using my voice and whatever it is that I do to kind of get a little bit more notification, more marketing for them, and kind of help them get a little bit more recognition. Um, and what's the word? Marketing, so promotion, I don't know, advertising, trying to advertise the business, right? Um, and so I was doing that a lot, and with Frank Maglio and I would go around. So we got to be known as sort of like I don't know, Laurel and Hardy or something, or Abbott and Costello. I'm going way back, right? Way before my time. Um, but sort of these two characters that were always together, always hanging out. We did real estate together. He helped me on some of my films as well. He was in one of my films, which I'm editing right now, and so we have had that that friendship that kind of went on to the social media platforms, and then went out into Bayonne, and people just, every time they would see me, they'd be like, "Hey, where's your sidekick?" Every time they see Frank, they'd be like, "Hey, where's your sidekick?" That became kind of a thing. And the reason for that is really because I just took care of how I did it. I just really paid attention to what I was posting, and I'm not trying to say that I post exactly what should be posted. I post what I want to post, right? Whatever I feel I want to post. And not everyone agrees with me, which is, believe me, that's totally fine. That's exactly what you want in life. You want to have some type of energy. You want to have some kind of a game to play. If everyone would just agree with everyone, it'd be a little boring, right? So we have to have a little bit of give and take, and disagreement, which is totally fine. And I did a lot of that content on these pages, and because of it, it increased my people who saw my content, people I've maxed out my personal page. um I have 9,000 fans on my fan page, or my business page, whatever they call it. um Instagram and all these other pages have really expanded what I do, and I get, I would say, 90% of all the jobs or anything that I get financially to make money, I get it through these platforms. So I don't take them for granted. I use them wisely. I also am fully aware that they can go tomorrow, and I really don't care. If Facebook crashes tomorrow, if the internet goes out and we don't have any internet anymore and that's it, I'll grab my guitar and go to the corner and start playing, and kumbaya, my lord, whatever. I'll just start playing some songs. Keep creating, you know what I mean? So I don't find it, because some people say like, "Oh, well, you never know, you're gonna put all this," somebody told me this, "You're gonna put all this attention to these platforms, but then one day they're not gonna be there, then what are you gonna do?" I'm like, "Yeah, well, I'm gonna do what I used to do before the platforms existed, work and find solutions to problems, and just keep moving forward, right? Like Rocky says, you just keep moving forward, right? That's how winning is done." Right? And that to me is the only way to operate in 2021, especially when we have such a crazy uh, stuff, environments all around the world right now. things are not looking great for some parts of the world, especially here as well. I mean, we have some, gas prices are going crazy. We all this stuff. So you have to find ways to kind of put out positive energy and learn how to promote, right? So in the old days, we had the newspapers, right? The printing press was a huge, giant, controversial thing when it came out. It was like, wait a minute, you could print something, and then that was like, there's stories going back over 100 years of people actually printing lies to manipulate the readers, right? That doesn't happen today, right? And that's been going on. There's a couple of famous stories that I talked about on the show here once, regarding that, which was really amazing. Um, that was going on over 100 years ago when the printing press was still in its, in its infancy. So what that was that. Now the newspapers are still out there, right? We still have newspapers. Newspapers are very expensive to run, right? You got to print them suckers every day. Here in Bayonne, we have the community news. Has a lot of, good information on there. The very expensive paper to print as well. It got bought over by the Hudson Reporter, I believe. And putting an ad in there was not a little pricey. I can do an ad for $50, $50 on my on one of my pages and reach 500-600 people at a time. You know, with a newspaper, you don't really know, you can't really you don't know what the ROI, right? The return of investment is on that. So if you put in $1,000 ad, yeah, people might see it, but did it bring in business? You have no idea. With Facebook ads or with Instagram ads or LinkedIn or wherever you generate an ad, or wherever your business is more geared towards, uh, those ads can be followed up. You can actually look back and look at the analytics. Oh, look, I did this ad and it went this way, it went up. Then I did this ad and it came down. So let me go back to this ad because this ad was successful. What was it about this ad? You never know. Sometimes people change the color of an ad, they change the whatever. They change. Sometimes I'll put on a post, I'll literally will spend 30 minutes getting ready to do a selfie. Put my hat on, and do the selfie, and then I get nothing, you know. And then I'm outside and I'm just taking a minute and I'll see something. I'll take a picture of myself, get 100 likes. I'm like, what? So there's no rhyme or reason to any of it. It's like, why? So at this point right now, I don't really think much about it. If I get an idea, I do it, I put it out, I forget about it. I don't go back and look, oh, did I get enough likes? Or people like, that's the one thing about social media that you have to know. This whole Bayonne famous thing. And the reason people actually um, recognize me from social media in town is only because they see something, right? They see something. Now, it can be something that I put a lot of attention to. It could be something that I just did really quickly, a picture with my son walking around, a picture with my daughter, or a picture with my wife, or the family eating at a whatever it is, something they saw, and that just puts that attention. If they see it enough, if and so it is about quantity, right? It's not quality. I know a lot of people will reverse that and say, well, you got to put out quality content, and as soon as you put out quality content, you're going to get a lot of fewer. Not necessarily. Not necessarily. It is when you're talking about an industry or the internet that has a gazillion things being thrown in the face of people, and you're in this one little tiny community. You have to be one of those things. How do you do that? How you compete with people that are just constantly? You have to promote more. You have to post more. You have to be able to expand more. Um, Yes, I can see your chat. Yes, if you want something, if you have something interesting to say, I will read it. Maybe. Maybe. But thank you for stopping by. I appreciate it. So, you have to post a lot. So it is quantity. It's how much you put. It's how much you want to actually get out into the community, and how much you want to expand your business and expand your brand. Brand development is a very important thing now, right? I say everyone should develop their brand. It doesn't matter what you do. But John, I'm an accountant. I work for this law firm, or I work in an office. I'm a secretary. I'm a receptionist. No, whatever it is, you have a brand. And what you do is important to someone, right? Someone is paying you for that job. Therefore, you have a brand. You have a package of something. Package it. Make yourself, give yourself an image. Give yourself um the importance, that you really are. You are an important person. You are an important entity onto this planet. So brand yourself, and even people think it's silly, because people thought I was silly. I remember when I first quoted myself. I put a picture, and I put a quote, and the quote was me, JHS. Normally, everyone was posting other people's quotes, famous people's quotes, right? I came up with some lines, and I was like, hey, it's a pretty good thing that I just came up with. I'm gonna quote myself on this sucker, and I put a picture, and I quoted, and somebody wrote, "Oh, great! So now you're quoting yourself," like sarcastically, right? And I was like, "Yeah, I'm quoting myself, mofo. What the hell's wrong with you? Quote myself if I want to." You just have to give yourself permission to do, give yourself permission to create, give yourself permission. You are in charge of your own life. You are in charge of your destiny. You're in charge of your future. Why are you waiting for someone else for someone's approval? Why are you not doing something because you're afraid of what someone's going to actually approve, or someone's eyes are going to roll up, or eyes are going to roll in their heads? Let them roll out of their freaking heads. you know Post so much and create so much good content, and work on branding yourself, that their eyes do roll out of their heads, because it'd be better off for them. They're better. They don't have to look at it, right? And at the end of the day, if somebody does not like what you're doing, they're just gonna unfriend you or delete you or whatever. And that's great, because that gives you room to put somebody in that actually is going to appreciate what you're putting out. So give yourself permission to get out there. Give yourself permission to fail, to keep moving forward, to try again, to do things that you've always wanted to do. Because I'm telling you that you start today, and in a few years, it could take you a few months, but it might take you a few years. Give yourself 18 months of consistent content. You're going to see an amazing influx of positivity, of people actually following what you're doing and being interested in what you're doing. And that is really what it's all about. It's really about helping the community. So when I say Bayonne famous, it's recognition, right? It's not famous. It's just recognition for my community. People have seen me. They know me because they know what I do. They know my voice. Some of them feel that they know who I am. I was at the supermarket, and somebody asked me a question, and I started talking about something, and somebody went, "Oh, I recognize your voice. You do that show." This was when I was doing some other shows. Um, they recognize my voice, right? And that to me is branding. It's branding, and you're helping the community with that branding. Just keep that in mind. It's to help others, right? That's the only reason we're here on this planet, is to help each other, right? So if you can find your voice, and you can find a platform, and you brand it, and you put it out there, you're going to help a lot of people. And that's what it's all about. Damn, I talk a lot. All right. I want to I want to thank you all for tuning in. I appreciate you all. It is Thursday. I keep saying Thursday. Gosh, it is Wednesday. So today is Wednesday. I'll be out and about. By the way, if you do see me out there in Bayonne or anywhere, and you say hi, say hey John, and tell me who you are, because I do want to know. I want to meet people. That's the whole point. The whole point of this. So thank you everybody for tuning in. I appreciate it. If you like what I do here, like, share, and subscribe. And just tell your friends, hey, listen, there's this little crazy Puerto Rican. He comes on here live every day. Sometimes he does some impressions. Sometimes he tells some jokes. Sometimes he's a little bit too deep. Sometimes he gets political. Sometimes he talks about music and films and all that other good stuff. But you might enjoy him. Tell your friends. Maybe they might like it, and share my page. And I appreciate it. You could also visit my website, johnhenrysoto.com, for all my films and everything else. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. I appreciate you all. Make today great. Do the things that you love. Take care of yourselves. And as always, peace.